We'll give a couple of minutes just to warm up everyone. I think there are a lot of people joining. And it will be live through our channel, YouTube channel as well. So there will be plenty of people joining over there who can't get the Zoom link. Ganesh, your mic is already actually went on mute because I mute everyone. Maybe you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, you can hear. Yes.
Yes. I'll just join in 2 minutes. I'll
Yes,
get
sure.
I'll
You
get a
take your time.
better place to take the
Yes,
call.
you take your time. You can take your time. We have a lot of time here.
Sure.
Thank you everyone for joining. We're just getting ready. We have a consultant, Mr. Ganesh, who's joining us from Sydney, and he's just getting his things ready to discuss about options, visa options, because we have a consultant, Mr. Ganesh, who's joining us from Sydney, and he's just I'll tell you the background. Mr. Ganesh is an experienced migration consultant and known to me from last couple of years. And he has been very successful in getting allied health visas and employer-sponsored visas and other skilled visas, and also student visas as well, which a rich experience, which you're going to share with us as a friend of mine, just to give some knowledge those who are actually not aware about what options they can use, especially with pharmacists, and also we are working with doctors as well. So there will be a lot of options for doctors visas and nursing visas as well, and probably physio or lab. So this discussion will be not just limited for pharmacists or just doctors. This will be shared knowledge, experience for allied health and medical professionals. So it can be informative, direct informative for you if you belong to the profession, but it can be a wide variety of information that we're going to share here with Mr. Ganesh, which he's going to explore some hidden opportunities for maybe for you directly, or maybe your friends if they are related to those professions. So thank you very much for joining, and we're looking forward for a fruitful discussion on latest up-to-date information coming on how to apply those visas which are available for health-related profession. There are some talks happening about aged care visas as well, especially people working in NDIS industry. That's a huge demand for professionals who can work in this industry. So he's going to talk about that as well. So stay tuned. Just ask your friends to join. If they are not joined, maybe just to let them know, because this is, I think, I was talking with other health professionals, but as an immigration person, I have not taken, because the time is very limited. Migration people are very busy with their clients, and I just request Ganesh that if he can give us maybe half an hour or maybe 2 hours, not 2 hours, but maybe maximum 30 minutes or 40 minutes. That will be great for help. And yes, so that's something which probably we're looking forward. And you can ask questions. You can use the chat box. That's the best way. We don't want any interruption in this program, because this is a conversation between like a question and answer session with Mr. Ganesh. We want to gain as much as knowledge from him. We may take some question in the end, but you have a chat box there where you can use your questions, and we can answer those questions after when we have some discussions completed by Mr. Ganesh. So I'll just check if Ganesh are ready.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So how are you today? How was your day today, sir?
It's good in Sydney. How is it there in Adelaide?
Adelaide was very very good day, Sunday, and it was a little bit cold, I would say, a little bit chilly.
Yes.
That's why I'm wearing a jacket. Not running any heater here, but looking forward for this fruitful discussion.
Sure.
I know that I had a lot of question answers you have discussed, but we thought we can discuss in front of quite a number of health professionals who are connected with me. And I know that you recently spoke to head of nursing in regional South Australia, and you disclose a great news that you were successfully managed 15 positions in regional SA for allied health, especially nurses. So that's amazing story that you share with me, which actually motivate me that let's do this chat. Why not? And it can be useful for our friends, our pharmacist friend, our doctor's friend, and maybe they have connection with the nurses that can bring those people up to that limit where we can help them. All right, so over to you, sir. If you want to start with your experience, what do you want to say? I know that if you just introduce yourself first a little bit, so people will know what is your background and how much experience you have, and that will give them some sort of ground information. First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of our pharmacist and also the doctors group who are actually joining slowly, and some of them are watching from our YouTube channel. And there will be more people joining, but this will be recorded session and it will be there on our YouTube channel, which can be watched by if someone missed that channel, missed that program. All right, so thank you very much, Ganesh. Please, over to you, sir.
Okay, so I actually didn't prepare for this, but I'll just give you a brief. So my name is Ganesh Krishnan. I'm a registered migration agent. So in Australia, for anybody to give you immigration advice, you have to actually go back to university and do a diploma in migration law. And only Australian citizens or PR can do it. So if anybody says that they're doing immigration, the simple question is are you a citizen? If they say no, mostly they're not migration agents, right? So there's also a website that's called www.mara.gov.au, where you can actually, like how you can check each registered nurse, you can check each registered migration agent. It's all open knowledge. I'm an immigrant myself. I came to Australia 10 years ago, exactly in 2013 May. So I finished 10 years.
Okay.
I was into IT sales. I changed my profession, became a migration agent in 2015 actually. So I have about 6 to 7 years of experience of immigration, services. It's been a learning process. I think the visas will be the same, but everybody's story and journey is different. So every application is different from the other. Now, over the course of years, I've been, I know, Mr. Hashmi for more than 3 years now. And we've been working together in figuring out, rather than seeing visas as a visa, how do you use it to enable business? Right. So a lot of businesses in Australia don't know the kind of visas.
Yes.
A lot of migration agents don't know what kind of business is there. So I think it's more like bringing the bridge together. Also, we have a lot of people who would like to get honest advice, because there's a lot of misinformation and, how do you say, wrong information, especially outside of Australia. Also, if you give wrong information, or if you're not a registered agent outside of Australia, there is no legal implication. Whereas in Australia, if you give immigration advice and you don't have a license, you can actually be imprisoned. So it's completely different.
That's right. That's
Same
right.
like for any licensed occupation in Australia. So that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you. And Ganesha, this is very important that you just mentioned in the last that you need to be a register if you giving any sort of advice. So that's very important, because I understand that responsibility as a pharmacist, that I cannot give advice on visa. That's why I don't touch this topic. I just always say that we have immigration consultant. This is the number. You can maybe talk to them, and I'm probably not the right person. I can give you advice on how to pass the exam, how to do things, and how to apply for KAPS and this and that. But visa is not my area. So that's why I always stop there. And being in contact with the Home Affairs director, this discussion came on the table when they invited me for what you're doing and how you're helping so many pharmacists. But do you know that you cannot give advice on visas? I say, yes, I know that, because this is the only immigration register people can do that. I'm aware about it. So that was also discussed. Even they invited me as a good friend, but they also said to me that this is not your area to touch. So that's why you are here, sir. And so what news that you can tell us, especially for health professionals, that can be handy for people who are listening?
Well, quick update is that if some of or most of you are aware of how the immigration works in Australia, especially for the medical profession, you need to pass certain tests. That's like, I think for GPs, it's called the AMC one. For pharmacists, it's called KAPS. Dentists, it's called ADC. For nurses, it's called APRA. You have to do that. There is no escaping the fact that you need 7H in English. That's something that you can't change, right? There's no shortcuts. Even if somebody says I can give you a shortcut, there's no shortcut, right? It's a very clear thing here.
That's right.
But the number of points you require is now come down to an all-time low of 65 to 70 points. If for people who are actually aspiring to migrate to Australia, it's a point system, right? There's points for age, points for education, experience, etc. Till the shutdown, which was like till 2022, most of the immigration points were hovering at 90, 95 points, which is impossible. Now suddenly they have opened the borders, and we're getting invitations. Last financial year for as low as 65 points. So I think that's good. They've also increased the amount of visa quota for immigration from 100 and something to around 200,000. So they're increasing, because you got to understand it. In the last 3 years, when it was lockdown, they could not get the amount of people they wanted to replenish their aging population. However, in the last 3 years, people have retired and become, retired pension, right? So they have a gap to fill, plus their numbers. They're very good in managing their numbers that way. It's a good opportunity for the next 2-3 years for any profession, medical or non-medical. If you're on the list that they want, you will be invited. And do not let the last 2-3 years data influence what you think. Again, there are no shortcuts. You have to be good you have to be top of the game of your profession. Okay, just a thumb rule. If you can't become successful in your own country, then you will not be successful in a new country. It's very clear. It's very simple. So you have to obviously put in that effort, put in that hard work, but also there'll be a little bit of luck here because of the ease of points and ease of the whole system.
That's good. And regarding these 4 different types of exams that those professionals need to pass, and those exams they can pass and they can do the English test requirement, and then they can apply on their own, or do they need a sponsorship? Because that's a very top question that people ask me, that if I pass my pharmacy exam, do I still need a sponsor? So
Okay.
what do you say
So
about
let's start with pharmacy because we worked on this before, right?
Yes.
So when you try to migrate to Australia as a pharmacist, you have to write what is called the KAPS exam.
Correct.
Now, when you pass the KAPS exam, you get a provisional certificate or provisional license, in which APRA says you now have to find someone to work under for at least 12 months.
Correct.
That's the difficult part. It's not really a sponsor, but you need a mentor, because you have to come here on a 407 training visa and spend 12 months under a fully licensed pharmacist. So for pharmacy, there are 2 parts. One is pass the exam, then come and work for 12 months and then get the full license. However, once you get the provisional, the first part, and you have the points, you can apply for the 491 visa, which is the regional visa.
Okay.
So based on 2 parts, if you want to work as a pharmacist, you need to complete the 12 months supervised practice. If you just want to migrate based on being a pharmacist, you need to pass the exam and then collect your points for English and all that, put in the expression of interest, and you will get invited for the 491. Now, if you have less points because you are above 40, or you're not able to get English scores, or you're married but your spouse does not work, so these are all points, then you may need a 494 sponsored visa, which does not work on points. It works on experience. So if you have a provisional certificate in hand and you have 3 years experience and you have a positive skill assessment from APRA, which is the certificate, and 6 each in English, then you require a sponsor. But the beauty of the migration system is that if you understand the point system and you work on your points, you don't need to depend on a sponsor. It's good to have, but it's not essential.
Okay. Like I know that last year, like 2022, when we were talking, when these visas were not very popular or available, like 491 or 190, we have done so many cases, and you have done so many cases where sponsor were there, KAPS person was there, they passed, then they offer a sponsor visa. But I know that in later part of the year where state nominations kick in and 491 visas were available for those who experience in some states, like I think Victoria and Western Australia, where they were saying that they can take people sponsorship with state sponsorship without experience as well. So I know that there were few of our colleagues who from our groups who has been successfully passed the KAPS, successfully launched their visa of 190, and they already here in Australia on 190, and some of them are 491. So this is a good pathway. This is a good explanation for those who have some maybe a misunderstanding or gap. So I think now everyone should be clear about it, that what are the pathways available. Some of the pharmacists who has passed the exam in July, they are quite a bit, like 70 or 80 people I know that they have passed the KAPS exam, and they are actually saying that state nominations are not open yet for this year. So
the migration program 2022-2023 is still not open. We're still waiting because I think they're going to also reduce the number of types of visas. Okay. They're going to make it more easy. They remove the complications. Right now, we have 216 visa subclasses. Even I don't know all of them, right? But they're going to bring it down, and they're going to make it more easier for certain occupations. They are definitely, looking at ease of pathway for medical based occupations, doctors, pharmacists, physiotherapists, nurses, because for them it's a place that they want to focus on. So we will see a lot of demand for pharmacists, nurses, doctors, not so much, I'll be clear. But anything that's physiotherapy, it's a very big thing in aged care. Anything,
Physiotherapy.
yeah, so you got to understand that the current government's focus is to make the aged care sector compliant.
Okay.
Aged care is again the same thing like hospital care. So you need all the support staff. So
Like
nurses, like even pharmacists, because there are a lot of specialist pharmacists, especially in the oncology department, in certain special hospitals.
Okay.
So yeah, again, while that opens up, you also have the opportunity to search for jobs. I don't see why you cannot go on site on websites like seek.com.au, right, and search for pharmacist jobs. Because once you start having a conversation with, because there are a lot of pharmacists in Australia who don't know what is a visa, the locals. Again, there's a big gap there. A lot of Australians don't understand their own visa system because they never applied for a visa.
You mean you're talking about pharmacy owners or company
Pharmacy
owners?
owners, like, because even they are quite, because I think they only heard of 2 or 3 kinds of visas. They don't know their own system because they never used it.
Yes.
So that's a good learning thing when you talk, and there's a visa called 482.
482, yes.
Yeah, 482 is a sponsored visa, like the 494. So when someone gets ready to apply for a 482, but if you have 3 years experience, you can convince them to go for a 494, which is basically the same thing, but 3 years experience.
So
But that's
482, can an employer employ someone without experience as well in 482?
No. The minimum requirement is 2 years.
2 years, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And
See, like in every, let me be clear, like in every country, if you're a fresher, the chances of you getting a job immediately is, it's a bit limited. So you have to use we have to see what we actually can achieve in our own country with our experience. And then maybe say 50% of that is good chance in, a new country. It's not going to be smooth. As in, I pass my KAPS today, I have 0 experience. I expect to migrate to Australia. The only way then is to get 8 in English, get points for experience, for everything, make that 70-80 points, and then apply for the expression of interest. But I'm not saying it's not impossible, but it's not going to be very easy.
Okay.
Obviously, every country like US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, they all look at skilled people, right? That's why it's called skilled migration. And skill is a combination of good education and good experience.
Okay, understand. Very, very good point. So thanks for clearing that. Skill is combination of qualification plus the past experience as well.
Yes.
All right. And there are some doctors here who actually maybe expecting some information. So as you said, there is no much luck for doctors. Would they?
Yeah, the thing is, the thing with doctors, and because we migration agents actually go and speak to the the association of doctors, the general consensus here is that they have enough doctors, right? The problem is the doctors who want to come here, GPs, they don't want to live 10 years in regional area because the bulk billing Medicare moratorium that they have. Because when you get your GP license, you at least 10 years you don't get your bulk billing license.
Okay.
You have to work in regional area. I think even back in India and Pakistan, if you are a fresh doctor, you have to work in regional area for some time. The same thing here. There's something called they look at the suburb or the state and see how many GPs are there in every location. Unfortunately, everybody wants to go into Sydney or Melbourne.
Oh, yes.
So they already have enough GPs there, and outside they don't want to go. So it's, I think, more about the GPs not wanting to go to very remote areas. Whereas the actual requirement of the medical, Medicare itself here is that every state, every Australian needs to have a GP, a pharmacist, a nurse, and it's very widespread. As Mr. Hashmiau knows, Australia is very, very big. There are some places where you won't see another person for at least half an hour or 1 hour.
That's true.
Whereas everybody who's from other countries, all they see is Sydney and Melbourne, which is just two cities. And
That's very important because that's very important point that immigrations are actually welcoming not only not for these two cities. I would say I would broadly say in my webinar that when you're coming or when you're thinking to come to Australia, maybe just leave those two big cities and think about outside of these two cities. Maybe you will have more chances of getting work and maybe more chances of visas. What do you think? Remote, as you said, remote areas or regional areas are more widely open for overseas, even
and in fact they pay more in regional area. They
yes,
actually
more in regional area, and
it's not like our countries where if you go into the village area you get paid less. Here the more internally got you get triple the salary.
That's right.
And I just saw the GP what do you call salaries for Toowoomba. Toowoomba is a place in I think Queensland.
1 hour from Gold Coast, I think, is it, or is
It's the top of NSW. GP there will get at least $250,000 to $300,000 because there are no
Toowoomba, you're saying Toowoomba?
Toowoomba, yeah.
Toowoomba is in Queensland, I think.
It's tip of NSW Queensland.
Yes, and I know some pharmacists living there for many years, and
there's a place called Inverell, which is known for its beef industry. They're struggling for pharmacists and nurses.
Okay.
Because you got to understand, I mean, for the audience here, medical support or medical facilities are the birthright of every Australian. So the government has to provide. They cannot say in this area there is no nurse or no pharmacist. They have to provide. Just like the free education or the primary education to give to everybody. It's a privilege and a facility that you give to every permanent resident or citizen. And they have to do it.
Okay.
That's the opportunity we can look at.
That's very good. I know that pharmacists are like different types of pharmacists. Like there's an industrial pharmacist, there's a pharmacist who work from retail, community, or hospital, and then there's a pharmacy technician. What do you say about industrial pharmacists? How's your experience with industrial pharmacists?
Look, I haven't seen many invitations for industrial pharmacists. Okay. I think the popular one is still, pharmacy technician or retail pharmacist.
Okay. What do you say about technician? Because there are a lot of people listening and they may be interested, because technician allow people to come without the KAPS exam. So KAPS exam is something people are mostly worried that they can't pass the exam.
Yes, but I'll be very honest and very brutal here. If you can't pass the KAPS, then you will not come to Australia. Simple. There is no shortcut here. Yeah, there's not a place where they're going to be nice to you. You don't gain anything by being nice.
Yes.
This is what it is. If you can't pass it, there will be 10,000 people who will be able to pass it. Because you're not competing just with yourself, you're competing with the rest of the world.
Yes.
So, and there are already people who come here, they're studying, they have an advantage on you.
Thank you for clarifying, because a lot of people think that if pharmacy technician is in the list, then there will be a lot of jobs for them. Obviously, they may get into the visa, but what they're going to do in practical life when they're going to come here, because there will be some more competent people going on the top or leaving them behind. That's true. Yep. And obviously good English is very important.
I mean, off the topic, when I was growing up, my mother told me that if you think that you're the strongest, the richest and the fastest person, remember there are 9 billion people in the world faster and stronger and richer than you. So you have to always be humble that way. There will always be an opportunity. You have to grab it. You may be lucky, not lucky, but you can't see it's your your right. So because even just in Pakistan and India, I think there are so many people who are just studying. There's so many studious people. So if you say I can't pass KAPS, there'll be someone who can pass KAPS. You can't finish English, there'll be someone who gets some.
KAPS is basically what I believe that is a slow. It's like a study which you do smartly, and then you can pass that. And if you're not smarter, then obviously Australia is not welcoming any.
In our countries, we all are so used to writing entrance exams. After 12th standard, there's an entrance exam. Everything. So this is one more exam. That's it.
Yeah. And one question I just saw, that what is the cutoff age for migrant to come here? Like, is it 45?
See, the cutoff age from a visa perspective is 45.
Okay.
So when you're 44 years, 364 and 23.20, 59, and you cut that cake, you're gone. But
Okay.
practically, I think the latest you should come is by 40, because by the time of 40, by the age of 40, you're already very set in your life. And the way it will be very difficult to, because I'll be very clear. It'll take 3 to 5 years for you to assimilate into this country or any country.
Oh, yes.
There'll be 1 year of, reclaiming your career, then 2 years of missing your parents, family. Then, yeah. So if you start doing at 45, by the time you're 50, you're too old to work.
Too old to work. And I remember you did one person case, I don't want to say the name, but that was very, very on the border of, I
Oh,
think.
yeah. I think there were like 3 days left.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
But it's possible. But 45 is the cutout age. That's good. And I know that when we come to Australia, we are very excited, and excitement goes down after some time.
of course.
When we start missing our family, or we don't get a job, then all the excitement just go and think, oh, why we came here. And
I'll be very clear. A lot of people, when a lot of you guys on the call, when you actually start the journey of migrating to Australia, what will happen is your Facebook, your Instagram will start throwing, information of Australia, this, Australia, that, that's how the social media works. Now, if you come here and don't meet the expectations, you will feel that they are discriminating against you, or they are not, favoring us. There's nothing like that. It's Australia treats everybody the same. Whether you're American, Australian, Pakistani, Indian, Sri Lankan, they don't care. There's a standard, and you work here and you get it. That's it.
it's amazing. So
There is no bias here.
if you meet the criteria, or if you match the standard.
Yeah, because see, last year you had this ban on people who don't have COVID vaccine, and that the legendary #1 tennis player came here, Novak.
Yes.
The rule says if you don't have vaccine, you go back. He went back. It's very simple. They don't care that way, which is good for us. So if you're used to working in an environment where you have to, it's not your actual ability, but then who what you do, how we grew up. You will not like this country. This country is for people who believe in hard work, who believe in their own mehnat, in India, mehnat. And yeah, and you don't need to have any, this is a word we call it vasta, sifarish. Yeah, we don't need that here. But if you're used to that kind of life, you will hate this place, because this place doesn't care where you're from, what you have. They just look at your performance.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And one person just put a question saying that I got 3 years experience after passing KAPS. Some consultant told that person that she cannot claim 3 years because 1 year will be deducted from her 3 years. Is that true?
Who's going to deduct?
Immigration or department may not consider 3 years, because there is a policy that they normally consider 2 years.
Okay.
When for 3 years.
There are two things here. One is that the skill assessing body may or may not deduct a couple of years, or 1 year or 4 years, right? Okay. Different bodies have different. Like for computers, you have Australian Computer Society, they deduct 2, 4, 6, 8 years. But if you go into department policy 10.1, it says that the department will look at the opinion of the skill assessment body, will look at the ANSCO definition, and then take the right decision. And it says that if the skill assessing body deducts years, resulting in a less favorable outcome for the applicant, then the department will look at the more favorable outcome. Okay. So even if you 2 years are deducted, you can claim those points.
But Ganesh, I know that KAPS do not consider, or do not recognize, or do not do any sort of work experience assessment. They only say work experience is not our.
So I'll give an example, like APRA, right? If I'm a registered nurse, I've done a Bachelor of Nursing from Pakistan. I got 10 years experience in a hospital. Yes. Then I write my APRA and I become a registered nurse in Australia. I can claim all 10 years.
That's good. So they can claim 3 years. So that
Yes.
information is not valid. So Salma, I think you put a question, you got to answer. Thank you very much for Ganesh bhai. Thank you very much for telling this correct information. Okay, what are the job prospects in Australia for those taking a easy yet expensive pathway of application through a consultant firm in Pakistan? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Now we are all medical professions here, right?
Yes, medical professional. Yes.
Would you want to go to a registered doctor, or you go to someone who doesn't have a license? I mean, it's cheap and easy, by the way. Think about it.
Okay. Yes, I think
It's your money, your life. That's all I
yes. If you want to go to Quack, that's fine. You can go to a
हाँ,
Hakim साहब के पास बगैर
हाँ, मतलब वो
दवाइयाँ
कहते हैं कि
लें.
वो या तो वकील, या तो आप जाइए डॉक्टर के पास, या तो वो जो है ना कान साफ करने हैं, उसके बाद चले जाओ, आपके ऊपर है.
Okay, that's very nice. I think Zareen got an answer. Thank you. Okay.
Like I said, always look. See, if I look at my, if you look at my, my screen, there's a number there, 1678495.
Yes.
So
Yes,
if
we
you
don't.
go, if you put that number on Google and say Mara, you will actually get my entire where I live, what's my address, everything. Is
That's
that
right.
open? So you, if somebody says I'm a migration, first of all, an individual, only an individual can have a Mara license. A company cannot have.
Individual. Okay.
So if somebody says we have a large migration agency, you have to ask who is the Mara agent, what's the number? Everybody can't have the same number.
Okay. Understand. That's very good point. Thank you for.
But a lot of them actually work with migration agents in India, in Australia. So you just ensure that you're actually working with that migration agent, not with somebody in the company who's coordinating.
Okay.
The agreement you sign has to be with the Mara agent. The reason is we are governed by the government, and if we do anything wrong, we have to pay compensation through our indemnity insurance. So you're actually covered legally if you sign up with a migration agent.
Yes, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And a person is asking that they've got a family of 4 kids. Which state will be better for schooling and better life? So can you advise anything?
I think
choice?
schooling is the same everywhere here, right?
Okay.
There is, I mean, you have free public schools, you have some good schools because there are a lot of people who like the way schools are determined here is how many children are getting good in maths and science. So it doesn't mean that a school is good. So you'll see places where there are, people from subcontinent or from China, it'll always be high. Ask you the question. Yeah, I came here, I put my son in private school. Because private school is not very expensive here. It's like you say 5-6 lakhs a year.
Okay.
Which is good for quality education. And even the public school, which is free, is good. So it's a personal
Personal choice. Yes. Yes, it's a very personal question. It's your personal choice where you want to send your kids either to a very expensive school or to a government school or a private school. Someone asked a question that which visa is the best option if someone got a 3 years experience after KAPS? Any choice?
Whatever you get. I mean, if you get 8 in English, you get 20 points. So let me explain what the points are, right?
Yes, please. Yes.
Anyone below the age of 25 gets 25 points. This is age, right? First part is age. From the age of 25 to 32 or 32.
32. Okay.
Yeah, is you get 30 points. That's the max, right? From 33 to 40, you get 25 points. So it's 25, 30, 25, right? From 40 to 44, you get 15 points.
Okay.
45, sorry. 45 plus, you're out. Right? Now that's age. Then you have English. If you get 6 each, you get 0 points. 7 each is 10 points. 8 each is 20 points. So that's the English. Then you have education. Bachelor's and Masters, 15 points. Masters by research, PhD, 20 points. Thesis 1. Okay, that is experience, education. Experience, less than 3 years, 0 points. 3 years to 5 years, 10 points. 5 years to, 5 years to, 3 years to 5 years, 5 points. 5 to 10 years, 10 points. 5 to 8 years, and 8 plus is 15 points.
Okay. Okay.
3 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 plus.
5, 10, 20, 15. Okay.
Then if you're single, you get 10 points. If you're married, then your wife or husband needs to get at least 6 each in English to get 5 points. And if they are a working professional, again, they need to do a skill assessment for 5 more points.
Okay.
So there's a disadvantage for people who are married.
Okay.
Right. The third part is, now this is for people who come and study here. If you're studying in Australia, you get 5 more points.
Okay. Okay. Study is 5 points extra.
If you're studying in Australia in region, 5 more points.
Okay. Extra 5 points on the top.
5 plus 5.
Okay.
If you're studying in India, in Australia, and you're studying PhD, it is, I think, 5 more points or 10 more points.
Okay.
And if you're studying PhD in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and medicine or math, I don't know, mathematics, STEM, you get more points. But I have not seen so many people doing all that. But these are the points.
Okay. Okay.
Now you know how it's easy for you to reach 80, 90 points or not. There's 5 points for Nati, where Urdu is also part of it. Urdu, Punjabi, I think Farsi, Sindhi, they're all part of the Nati.
Okay. Okay. Understand.
So if you don't know what is Nati, Google it, because if you're going to start getting into Australian migration, all this should be on the fingertips.
Well, that's very good. Thank you for explaining the detail. Will have a CAP pass pharmacist get a visa without experience as a fresh graduate? This is a question for some pharmacists who are new, no experience, but they are excited because Victorian state giving nomination and Western Australian giving nomination with no experience. So is that going to be
so if you have those points, like I explained, because the invitations come on number of points, right? It's a software. So if 100 people apply and everybody is having 70 to 90 points, the cutoff becomes 70 points. So it's the same like our market. No? If there is demand for potatoes go up. There's no demand, goes down. Right now, they want at least 200,000 people to come in. So the demand, the entry points will be less. Okay. Which is what I said in the start. So you have to all start increasing your points. And now the migration is still not open. So you be ready now with the points, put in the EOI. Whenever it opens, you'll get invitation. Okay. Okay. That's good to know. And claiming points for experience, and if someone cannot give a pay slip and they be paid as a cash, not in bank, not in a pay slip. So this is something that is cultural, because I know at least in India, they have stopped paying cash like 4 or 5 years back because that UPI, that uniform, what do you call it? Uniform payment system or whatever. So there's literally no cash going on in India. Okay. But I know that places like Spain, Mongolia, Brazil, they still use cash, even Italy. Okay. So it depends upon, okay, even if you get paid in cash, do you pay tax? That's the second question. Yes. So that's something which you can prove in your tax return, that your wages were that much. And if you can justify your salary in there, that should be okay. Yeah. Because payslips can be made in PDF. Payslip is, they don't really give any. The two important things to see is bank statement where you have bank credit, or a CA letter that says that I am the CA, and it's on the official letter of CA saying that this is what is earned every year. Or even if you're getting paid in cash, your employer can give an annual salary statement that we paid so much by cash. There should be some declaration. Okay. Now, if you see a lot of people, and I'm not saying everybody is right or wrong, but a lot of people who claim cash will also say they are getting paid less than the annual minimum salary, which becomes a bit sus. I have people who come and say, I'm a software engineer in Bombay and my salary is 1 lakh rupees per year, which is not really what the market is saying. Yes. You have to look at how to, so there are various ways of showing you're working. And that's a case-to-case basis. There's no hard and fast, one rule fits all. Oh, that's right. Thank you. That's very clear.
for Sami. I have a question. I know that you have very expert knowledge on this university admissions. Someone is asking that what if I transfer my credit hours of to any university in Australia to get my pharmacy degree from university in Australia? What do you say to a student in Pakistan?
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
My question is that if a pharmacy student doing his third year or fourth year, not his fifth year, but he want to transfer his credit hours from Pakistan to an Australian university to get a degree here as a transfer student.
See, I have seen that happen in things like accountancy, software, IT, but I think Australia is a bit strict on medical part.
Yes.
And also you got to understand, like if you allow that, the average cost of doing a MBBS in India or Pakistan is less than 20 lakh rupees.
Yes.
Same thing is 2 crores here. So if you give this option, then everybody will do 3 years in our country and then 2 years here. I don't see many universities encouraging that, especially in medical field.
Yep, I have asked this question personally long time back for someone, and they said no, you have to start from first year. So I know that in pharmacy.
Because I know that they don't do for nurses. There are people doing
same for pharmacy here.
Yes, I think anything that requires a medical license to practice.
Okay.
They're very clear on the standards. You have to study everything here.
Okay, Ganesh, there's a question related with medical test. A person who has been positive with hepatitis C, but now cured, and treatment is all done.
You need a letter from the doctor, and then you have to wish for the best, because they are very clear. You know how they are about tuberculosis, hepatitis C, all this stuff. If it is managed or it is cured, because I have had cases where they had blood cancer, but they got cured.
Yes.
So we got the PR, they are not citizens.
Okay, that's very good. So this question has been asked by me by many people, and I always say, look, I don't know the answer. You need
because hepatitis C and tuberculosis is very common in subcontinent.
Yes.
But it is very uncommon in Australia, so they get scared of it. If it is actually cured, then there shouldn't be a problem. Like for example, if you are pregnant, most of the pregnancies you have what is called that pregnancy tuberculosis, TB, which comes on your chest. It's not actual TB, but it comes up in pregnancy for certain people. So it all depends upon. So there is something called MOC, Medical Officer of the Commonwealth. So when you do your actual test with BUPA, they will take a consideration of that. So anything that is outside of your normal result, it goes to a specialist. For example, in normal visa, you do your blood test, HIV, and I think chest X-ray. If it is normal, you go ahead and get the visa. If it's something that's abnormal, they refer to a specialist. So it takes time. But they will not say, okay, this looks abnormal, refuse visa. It doesn't happen that way.
Okay, that's good. And again, you have already expressed the points for English tests. 6, you don't have a chance. 65, you
can lodge your EOI if you have. But if you're coming to an English-speaking country and you're having bare English, then
that's what I always say to everyone. That look, try to get the maximum number, so that will actually help your visa as well. Rather than
we come from English-speaking or English medium schools. I think the only thing, I think I'll tell you, I'll tell all of you. Everybody confuses accent with English. People think if they speak in American accent, that is better English. No. English is English. So if you are grammatically correct, nobody cares what your accent sounds like. But especially my clients also, they confuse good English with accent.
Yes. No, that's a very valid point that we are coming for English speaking countries, so try to get points.
And I'll tell you what, don't worry about whether you will be understood here or not. There are so many nationalities here. Everybody has their own accent. If you speak to an Irish person who's from UK, you will not understand anything. Even, people from, say, Southeast Asia, when they speak English, it's different. Germans speak different. So everybody has an accent.
That's right. Yes, everyone has
It's
accent.
not just we having an accent. In fact, we actually speak neutral English, what they say. Our accent it can be understood by everybody.
Hmm, that's good. And Ganesh, someone is asking, Mr. Usman is asking that which state will have more demand for pharmacists in coming
That's
years?
it's
Everywhere?
like that's a very generic question. I mean, I think everybody will have demand.
Yes, okay.
And you being overseas, you can actually apply for all the states. So what's stopping you? You know, so
That's
whoever
right.
calls you.
Okay. And Majid is asking that please ask, my brother is in Geelong, Victoria with 491. Do I get points in EO?
No,
No. Okay. Answer is no. Okay.
I'm a migration agent. I'm also citizen. My brother in India doesn't get PR any
That's
part.
yeah. There's a lot of myths that
Yeah.
people think that we get benefit of someone
It's
in.
not a myth. I think till 2017, there was something called a family sponsored 490, 489,
Okay. Okay.
which gave, I think the total quota for the entire year was less than 500. But that was marketed a lot and that has been stopped. And that was only for South Australia, if I'm remember.
Okay.
You got to
And
understand this. Australia, Sydney, and Melbourne, they know that they will attract good talent. So they don't need to go above their way to get other people.
okay. Okay. A doctor is asking that if I clear my AMC1 next year and do PTE, would my husband do appear in PTE too? And what about my 3 kids? Do they need to do the PTE as well for the kids or just the husband?
Children don't, I mean, it's for
Just for the husband, maybe
children are like free. They come like a
okay.
package.
As a package deal. Okay, that's
Uh,
good. And how much time it will take for 190 and 491 at the moment? What is your observation? I know
See,
by law, by book,
usually it starts in August, but thanks to the Labour government, which promised that they will change the entire immigration system, and they have not done anything. It's getting delayed. Nobody knows when it's going to open, and when it's open, they'll have to finish the whole quota by June. So if it even opens in Jan, that means the entire 200,000 applications will be finished by June. So you just be ready. And this is going to happen every year on year. It's not like this is the last year. So
yes,
this
because
quota gets reset every year.
I tell you one thing. I was in a program yesterday where High Commission of Pakistan was there, and multicultural South Australian minister and tourism minister was there, and she was saying in her speech that she's looking forward for more migrants. So that means that the Labour government is looking for a very strong migration policy for this
Yeah,
country.
and also see they are very practical. It's not like they love or hate anybody. They have an aging population, and they need people to come here who are young, who can work and contribute. And the last 3 years, they were not able to attract that number. So that shortage of 600,000 people plus 200,000 is what they have to cover the next 5 years. Now, I would suggest everybody to concentrate on their English, whatever points they have, right? Do everything, search for jobs, do your English, keep all the options open. Don't say that I'll have 7 each only and I will leave everything to this. If that is the amount of effort you're putting, then you will be where you are. And I'm very black and white.
Okay. As a experienced person, when you do require experience to show that they have done this experience, other than experience letter, what things you would ask from pharmacist or medical professional to supply other than the letters? Is it payslip, tax return, or anything else?
Look, so it's very easy for, like say example for doctors, right? GPs. You have to first give your degree and mark sheet to a body that actually checks the veracity of or the genuinity of your college, university, and what you studied. Then you go to part 2, which is the AMC one. You don't need a migration agent for this because the AMC and the APRA, they don't want to even talk to migration agents. So having said that, it's actually an individual journey for everybody, and they're very helpful to individual people. You pass the AMC one, which is pretty tough. You then apply for jobs. If you pass the AMC one, just go to NSW Health or Victoria Health and just search for the number of openings they have. Just apply directly. They will take you, and then you have an option of coming on a 482 and then working for 1 year and getting the AMC2 assessment under workforce-based assessment, or you write the AMC2. So either ways, the AMC1 more or less gives you that footway.
Okay, I was in a meeting yesterday where this was discussed that when someone passed from overseas that AMC 1, they can also do the AMC 2 as well
Yes,
overseas. With
that's
no,
technically done, but the AMC2 is a very expensive. I think it's cost $8,000 to $12,000 to write the exam. You have to come overseas, and the pass percentage is I think 2%. So
it's very, very
it's
tough.
better to come to work here and then do that workforce-based assessment, which is how well you work.
Okay. Understand. Okay. There's a question about costing. Maybe I can answer that later. Costing of a migration whole process with 3 kids and husband, roughly they were asking about that.
Same like a 20-day trip to Europe or Asia.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, it's not very expensive, not very cheap. I mean,
that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody is saying that, can you please clarify your take on why one should not come to Australia on pharmacy technician visa, but rather than KAPS then come? So you already explained that. I think you already explained that you should come to compete. Best way is that do the KAPS and then come, because you're competing in jobs as well here, rather than just come with a letter saying that you have been assessed on veritasis for with pharmacy technician, because that letter will only give you visa, not employer would
exactly.
be.
I mean,
That
if I give you the PR today, what are you going to do for the next 40 years in this country?
Because some pharmacists I have seen that, look, I've been given vitasis assessment for industrial pharmacy. I have a letter. Why I'm not getting work in this country? Same as that.
Because you chose a very smaller profession. That's, I mean.
Yes, that's right. The same thing for pharmacy technician. Okay, hopefully they got this answer. One of my friend who is an Australian citizen sponsor me. Will I able to claim points, sir?
Sorry, what?
If one of my friend who is a citizen, Australian citizen, can he sponsor me? Can I claim some points?
No.
No, you already explained that you cannot give you even your brother point. Okay. A question is saying that this is already discussed. We don't know. Just hope for the best. Medical board will give you a license exam, allow more people to enter, fulfill the gap. Do you think the medical board will give some license in exam for allowing more people to enter to fulfill the gap?
See, one thing about Australia is that they will rather not have anybody than compromise on their
quality of recruitment.
Quality. Yeah.
They won't compromise on the quality. They won't go below the quality.
Today in aged care, there is something called shortage of registered nurses, right? There's 200,000 plus registered nurses, right? And if you're an aged care center and you don't have a registered nurse for every X number of beds, you end up paying compliance-based fines of $70,000 to $100,000. Yet they will not lower the standard to get in more nurses. They will rather pay those fines to have a nurse come in who's not at that level and then causes in a death or disability of an Australian patient. So you got to understand that the value of life here is paramount. So they will never bring down the quality.
As the experienced immigration persons, a person is asking that, what are the mistakes when a person do things by themselves? What are the common things that why a person like you require, why they do this and what mistakes? This is the question by someone.
Okay. So to become a migration agent, you have to pay about $26,000 and spend 1 year of your life studying in a university. You got to pass about 12 to 16 exams, then write a capstone and get 7H in English. So doing yourself and somebody who's invested this amount and time of his life, it's your call.
Yes, hell of a difference.
I can also go to Google and say, what is my symptom? I can medicate myself. So
and get a medication. Okay.
I mean, I would ask the question, since this audience is actually all professionals, right?
Everyone is professional.
I would ask you,
no labor, no non-qualified person. Yes,
why would I come to a pharmacist where I can buy it off, some dodgy place on the internet? What would answer would you give? There's no answer to that.
Okay, a doctor is asking, do you have to pay a fee for work-based assessment after AMC1? Do you have to pay a fee?
Work-based assessment means that you're actually working for the place, you're drawing a salary, they get happy with your performance, and then they say, yes, this person is exempt from AMC2. So you actually get paid to work there. There's no this, you don't pay anything for that.
Same for pharmacists as well. When they
Yeah.
pass the KAPS 1, they come to Australia, then they work and they get
Yes.
paid, which is like approximately $4,000 monthly salary as an intern pharmacist to complete the registration, full registration in a year. So same for the doctors. Okay. Okay, if someone has a visit visa rejection in 2017, will it affect my skill migration process?
No.
No, okay. Very good.
I have cases where they have got 27, 30 rejections and like, no problem.
Okay. A lady is asking that I had done a master's degree in chemistry. Any pathway for me for a visa or to get PR?
Master's degree, I mean,
in chemistry, not as a pharmacist, not as a doctor, not as a physio, not as a nursing, as a chemistry. Any suggestion?
what are the occupation options in your home country?
Maybe they could be working in a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant as a chemist, or maybe
Chemist,
maybe as a quality assurance person, maybe.
So the same pathway. I mean, it's whatever occupation that you got, I mean, in your field, more or less, it will be the same occupation. Could be quality assurance. There's something called quality assurance manager. There's something called lab technician. There's something. So depending on what you're doing there, because just your bachelor of science or bachelor of chemistry will not give me any answer on that. So there will be so many multiple occupations.
Okay. Okay, they need to find and match.
You need to, yeah, that's actually more, you need to get into the CV and all that.
So if this person come to you, what do you reply? Like, would you say the same thing?
I will ask for this for her resume. I'll ask for the degree and then I'll try to map it and I'll give a clear yes or no answer. I mean.
Okay, so Atia Rashid, if you're listening from Bahrain, you can contact Mr. Ganesh after the session. We will share his detail and you can work with him if you want to proceed. Okay, thank you. And a question is asked by someone not mentioned, direct question saying that a experience letter need to be for an industrial pharmacist. Experience letter need to be matched according to what are the requirements. This is what.
So the expectation is that the ANSCO definition, right? That's a guideline. Does not mean that you have to copy paste it.
Yes.
And they accept up 60% match. Someone was talking.
No, I think you continue. I think someone just.
Yeah, so it's so look, I would just say this: if you're actually working as an industrial pharmacist, then the task and responsibilities of an industrial pharmacist mostly across the globe is more or less the same. So it's not that one country is going to be complete different set of tasks and responsibilities and the other will be different. Like a software engineer usually does the same thing everywhere. So if you actually worked as an industrial pharmacist, I don't think you should have challenged making the letter.
Okay, that's good. If I'm providing a 5-year experience letter, if I can't supply statement of that monthly, but I have provided funds, complete statement every month, my last working company experience letter should be used in the visa point. The question is that, sir, if any point does not have, if at any point does not have an experience certificate of 5 years, complete 5 years का नहीं है उनके पास, और उनके पास कुछ स्टेटमेंट हैं जो उनके एक्सपीरियंस को डिफाइन करती हैं, तो what should visa point? I think 3 years you already defined, at least 3 years.
Yeah, I think she's saying I have worked for 5 years, but I don't have the what do you call paperwork for that. Is that
Okay.
what you're saying?
I think this is what probably the
See,
question.
when you go for skill assessment, if you say working for 5 years, if you have some documents from the first year, some second year, some third year, fourth year, but it's consistent, there's always going to be, they'll always look favorably and try to help you. It's not, the assessing bodies are not really, bad people. They actually try to help you, they're friendly people. As long as your experience is genuine, your paper is genuine, there is no fraudulent document, people will help you. Not everybody will have every pay slip and every, bank statement and everything. It can't be that perfect. So definitely there will be a scope of leniency.
Okay. What about that bank balance proof
नहीं,
requirement?
ये हमारे देश का ना सबसे बड़ा खड्डा है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं दिखाना था. इनको आपको है ना, they need your मेहनत and your कला, ये हुनर.
Okay.
They don't need your money.
They don't need your money. Very, very good. Because ये एक सवाल मुझसे भी हजारों दफा पूछा जाता है कि बैंक बैलेंस कितना चाहिए, तो आपने बहुत अच्छी बात बोली है कि मनी.
ये निकाह तो नहीं करने आ रहे कि बैंक बैलेंस दिखा रहे हैं लोग. मेहनत करने आ रहे हैं मजदूर बन के. उसमें तो मेहनत दिखानी, हुनर दिखानी.
Okay, that's so beautiful, so easy. So make it easy answer for this question. I think I will also reply this same question, same answer when someone asks me again.
मतलब your money is not going to help here.
Okay. Please clarify about international criminal check for APRA. Okay. Do we need in city-wise or country-wise? If someone...
International criminal check basically means criminal check or police clearance from your country.
Okay.
That's it. In Australia, it's called AFP. In India, it's called ICC. It's something, it's different name in Pakistan. It's called Dubai PCC in Dubai. Whatever country you are in.
Okay. Okay. There's a question asked, what is the pros and cons की जैसे बात पूछते हैं, moving to Australia versus UK or Ireland for doctors, please.
मतलब ये वो बोलते हैं ना कि मुझे इनसे शादी करनी, आपका क्या राय है, मुझे क्या फर्क पड़ता है. मतलब मैं तो यहाँ का हूँ ना, मैं तो इस मुल्क का मतलब वफादार हूँ. तो
बिल्कुल, बहुत ही अच्छी मजेदार बात, क्योंकि मैं भी यही जवाब देता हूँ कि भाई मेरे से ऑस्ट्रेलिया का पूछे, हमें उधर का
वो
बिल्कुल
पूछते ना क्या लगता है आपको सूरत हाल, वो यूके में क्या चल रहा है, मैंने फर्क पड़ता, हम तो यहाँ रहते भाई.
Please keep questions to Australia. I think that's why we arrange this program.
Exactly. I went to university for 1 year to study how to come to Australia, so
Yes.
I will have no idea.
We are not multitask migration. Ganesh Sahab is not a multitask, multi-country agent.
प्रॉब्लम क्या ना, जो अगर आप if you come to India, Pakistan, श्रीलंका ना, वहाँ के जो एजेंट्स हैं ना, वो सारे बेचते हैं.
Oh yes, yes.
मेन्यू प्लेटर होता है.
Okay.
तो because for them it is कि आपको यहाँ नहीं फिट हुआ तो आप यहाँ फिट कर दो, हमको तो कमीशन से मतलब है.
Oh yes.
हमारा तो ये कि you come here, actually survive, give more referrals, be happy. That's how we look at it.
So Rubina, I think you have got a point that we are for Australia here. We don't give you any comparison. Okay. Pathway for a specialist radiologist. Okay. Find a recruiter on AON. ये specialist doctor की बात कर रही हैं, Dr. Samir.
I think radiologists, if I'm not mistaken, they're not GPs. They come under specialist pathway. Okay. And that comes under the fellowship of Royal Physicians. ऐसा कुछ तो है उनका. So again, migration agents don't really get into that because they are not encouraged by the association to even talk on behalf of doctors. Okay. But it's easy. You can actually confirm. You can actually connect with them, and they'll send you the entire list. Okay. Information. So you
connect directly with the radiology specialist body and just ask that, and they will reply.
I think it's called Fellowship of Royal Physicians or FRP. There's some internal thing there.
I know there's a specialized body for each area, like for radiology, for psychiatry, for
anesthesia, anesthesiology, and all that.
Yeah. Does Masters in Business Administration after b.pharm is going to give you an extra point?
No.
Simplest answer, no. I heard from someone in Australia nowadays, teaching profession is easily getting into PR in Australia than other than profession. How much it is correct?
Okay, for teaching profession, the assessing body is AITSL, Australian Institute of Teaching and something. Okay. In that, you have to get 7 in this is only IELTS academic, not PT, nothing. 7 and 7 in reading and writing, 8 and 8 in speaking, listening.
Okay.
ये लेके आओ ना तो लॉटरी लग गई. 99% don't get it.
Acha.
Secondly, if you are going as a teacher, I'm not talking about university lecturer, I'm talking about school, primary, secondary, teacher, school teaching. You also need to have 45 days of supervised training in your B.Ed, Bachelor of Education.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in our countries, they don't give that demarcation. 2 साल की 1 साल की डिग्री होती है बैचलर ऑफ एजुकेशन, उसमें वो ये लिख के देते हैं कि this person has completed 45 days of supervised training as a teacher. Probably the new degrees are giving, older ones don't give. So if you can get 7, 7, 8, 8, okay. The other way is to actually come here and do a master of teaching. Now, I am talking about how to sit in where you are trying to come the cheapest form, which is skilled migration. However, all these professions, if you are ready, you can actually come and study here. And then, so it's like the more you pay them, is the easier it is.
Okay. Thank you. Next question here. Few years back, public health had much scope and PR option. Nowadays, it does not get PR. What
Health as in like Masters of Public Health Administration, something like that. I haven't seen it getting PR even 3-4 years back.
It's not in that list of demand. PR previously as well.
See, I want everybody go to Google and search for 2 things. MLTSSL, medium to long term MLTSSL list. That is the main list, which you call the 189 list or the 189 visa list. And then you have STSOL, short term occupation list, STSOL. This is the 190 list. Then you have the ROL, regional occupation list, which is neither the short nor the long, but only for 494 or certain occupations. Then you will see where occupation is sitting in.
Okay.
So they follow occupation list. So once you get the occupation list in place, then you'll know whether you can come here or not, or how you can come.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Maybe Shalias is asking that what is the test for nutritionist and what is the graduation for physical education? If you can say so.
I haven't seen many cases. Again, if you go to those lists, then you'll see exactly what are the occupation demand.
Okay, so this profession is not commonly you have witnessed in your pathways where people are getting. Okay.
Because even if I've seen people who are doctors, they come and do masters in public health and then try to get in some other place because the AMCs are too hard. Or if you're a nutritionist, they come up and try to study and become nurses. So people really don't follow that exact profession they had back in the country.
Okay. Thank you. Tariq is asking the same question which we already discussed, that if you have not shown your experience to APC while you're doing the KAPS, but can you show your 4-year experience in retail? I think is yes. When you go, okay, that's fine. I'm able to pass, but I have 4 lakh only. KAPS will cost more than 6 lakhs for pharmacy technician. Is better option or not?
So that's an individual option for you. What if you pay only 4 lakhs and come here and you don't get a job for 6 months? So it's your personal individual issue, right? I cannot actually tell you what to do or not.
Okay,
and it's an immigration choice. It's not like you're buying something on discount.
Okay. And so, this question is again repetition. Thank you. I got the point, and they got the point as well. This is the repetition again. The family sponsorship from brother, which we already discussed. No chance. There's no point. Okay. Can someone claim points of an Australian sponsor? Can someone claim points if an Australian citizen sponsor him or her? No.
Same question.
Same question in a different way. Yeah. Okay. Sir, after passing KAPS with no experience as a pharmacist, home country, able without experience. Yes, we already discussed that you
when you pass the KAPS, right? and you have zero experience, you still have to find a sponsor for you to work under a 407 visa.
Yes.
Right.
But
so,
in that
and
state nomination, they can apply, I think.
yes,
Like,
so you come here, you anyway do that, and that 1 year you get the other points up like NATI and all that, and then you put the state sponsor.
but you have said, Ganesh, but you have just mentioned a very good point of 407, where you can get an employer involved. If they sponsor, you can come within 2 months, I think. Is it right? Like last
2 months. And then what will happen is you'll, even if you don't have experience and you get only 1 year experience on the 407, a lot of states have this requirement that you should be working in that state for at least 6 months or 1 year.
Yes.
So you're already in the state, you're already getting the points, you have a clear advantage. Like I said, there's nothing guaranteed, right? The only thing guarantee is, death and taxes. And sometimes you pay taxes even after death. So only 2 guarantees. Everything else is, based on performance.
Okay. The question is saying that when the policy will be announced from Victoria on 190 and 491 we don't know, or we
I think the clients know before us. We get to know from them.
Okay. Because they're watching the website every day. Yes, yes. A question is asked by a doctor, a medical doctor, specialist pathway for gynecologists with 8-year experience after
Again, like I said, you need to go to that specialist. I think it's Royal
FCPS, I think, or
Royal Fellowship of Physicians or Surgeons. It all depends.
So, Ganesh bhai, what is your role in that? For that lady, if she goes there, do you do anything for them, or they can do by themselves everything?
It's actually very easy for them, because once they get accepted, then it's easy. There's no requirement for magazines.
Okay, sure. That's good.
We are not even allowed to have for example, other skill occupations. We actually have an agent login. We can do multiple assessments, but what do you call the
Fellowship?
They don't encourage that.
Okay.
So they're specialists, so they know what they need. They actually decide. So it's not generic. Like I said, it also starts from where you studied, your degree, your marks, your GPA. Then they do a lot of scrutiny.
Okay.
So you have to directly go there. Yes.
Okay, if visa is granted, then how much maximum time do we need to arrive in Australia?
There is no maximum.
Okay.
You get a visa, it's 5 years. You come here anytime before 5 years.
And again, same question is asked, what is the fund proof in bank requirement for 491 visa? They don't need to see that. Okay, that's fine. Okay. I granted 491 can a person live and work. Okay, if a visa is granted for 491, for example, with Western Australia, can person live and work in any other state?
Yes. The visa grant will have a list of postcodes per state. So anything apart from Melbourne Metro, Brisbane Metro and Sydney Metro, everywhere else is regional. That includes Perth, Adelaide, Tasmania, anywhere.
Okay.
You got to understand, it's called a state nominated, not a state sponsored. It's just nominated.
Nominated, yes.
So there is no binding. You have to follow your visa grant. Like suppose you got a 190 visa from one state. That's also state nominated.
Yes.
The visa condition is nil because it's a PR. You can go anywhere.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Nobody can stop you.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you for this reply. Hopefully this person got the answer. Okay, what would be the pathway if someone after MBBS want to come and teach in medical field? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't know.
I mean, it's best of luck. All the best.
Someone is asking, dear sir, how much the total consultancy fee for your service?
Total consultancy, no, visa, this, that. Like I said, 10, 15 lakh, 20 lakh. It depends upon how many people you have in your family, how many times you write the PT, all the stuff. Even the skill assessment body charges are different. Like, for example, VET assess is $100, but ACS is $500, so it's variable. Just think that you're going on a European holiday for 10 days, same cost.
Okay, thank you. A doctor is asking again that how long can a AMC1 pass doctor in Australia? How long can AMC1 pass doctor can work and keep working without AMC2?
You can keep working forever, but on a 482 visa.
482 visa, they can keep working. Okay, understand. Passing KAPS, but no experience. Any chance for 49? We have already discussed that.
Yep.
Chances for getting visa of dependent parents if one of them has passed away, like a single parent is alive, can we get them into our visa?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
पेरेंट्स जो है, माँ बाप जो हैं, उनमें से अगर एक पास अवे हो गया तो क्या उनके लिए वीजा हम कर सकते हैं अपने साथ?
So you mean to say you are the primary applicant, you have wife and child, and you have parents?
Yes.
No, you can't apply your parents in any peer.
Okay, understand. Okay, that's good. Any updates regarding pharmacist immigration? I think you will know by the website before anyone else. Is pharmacist profession going to be saturated in upcoming years, or any Australian won't be requiring more pharmacists? Is that true? I don't think so.
Yes, sir. These are called, हम बोलते हैं इसको बोलते हैं gossip.
Okay. Still pharmacist get our category a bit late, including only experience after category. Farhan is asking that if we get registration as a pharmacist, then our experience will count. Hopefully, yes. I think you need to be registered, and then you need to have a degree first, and then you will get your experience.
You need to have an overseas degree. You can be registered as a pharmacist in your home country. Then you become registered here. All your experience will be taken care of.
Okay, an industrial pharmacist after having more than 8-year experience, what are the chances of getting a job in Australia? Wow, we don't know.
First question is, what is the chance of you getting a visa? Because the visa will then give you a job.
पहले तो वीजे का पूछ रहे हैं कि 8 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है। नहीं वो वीजे का नहीं पूछ रहे, वो सीधा जॉब का पूछ रहे हैं कि जॉब मिलेगी नहीं मिलेगी।
मैं भी कह रहा हूँ कि मतलब आप एक कदम आगे निकल गए ना। उनको बता रहा हूँ मैं।
अच्छा।
See, again, this thing I also face from people in India, because हमारे जो लोग हैं mostly they have traditionally gone to UAE and Middle East, where you first go there, get a job, then get the visa. यहाँ पे उल्टा है. You get the visa and then get a job.
Okay.
Even I have faced that question. It's a genuine question, because there are a lot of places in like Saudi, Middle East, Dubai. It's different. You have to go on a tourist visa, get the job, and then they convert into IQAMA.
I know that industrial pharmacy jobs are not that common as compared to community pharmacy jobs. So that's a factor.
Because the biggest problem is यहाँ पे manufacturing नहीं होता.
Yes. That's true.
जहाँ manufacturing होगा वहीं पे आपको industry का जो वो मिलेगा ना, industry वाला level. यहाँ पे dispensation of drugs is more prevalent, so we have retail firms.
Okay, sir, आपके लिए क्वेश्चन है, बड़ा टिपिकल क्वेश्चन है माइग्रेशन एजेंट्स के लिए. Is one allowed to marry from his country after getting into Australia as a PR, as a single? After
एक बार आपने PR ले लिया, उसके बाद जो मर्जी करो.
After having claimed 10 points of being single during nomination.
Nomination, apply for visa, get visa grant.
Yes.
No problem.
उसके बाद जो करना है, ठीक है.
फिर स्पाउस वीजा $8,000 है.
ओके, ठीक है, थैंक यू. वैसा पूछ रहे हैं स्कोप क्या है फार्मासिस्ट का, इंडस्ट्री का स्कोप है, आपने बता दिया इंडस्ट्री है ही नहीं यहाँ पे. रिटेल एक्सपीरियंस है, उसका है स्कोप है, बहुत है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कम्युनिटी में
आप हमसे ज्यादा जानते सर.
हॉस्पिटल में भी चाहिए, तो इंडस्ट्री को छोड़ दें, बाकी दोनों नीचे उनके अच्छा है यहाँ पे डिमांड है.
हाँ, बट इफ यू अगर आपको PR लेने हैं और आपको इन्विटेशन है तो उसमें कोई रोक नहीं है. अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि अगले 30-40 साल क्या करने वाले, वो हमारा आंसर नहीं है. I don't have answer.
Okay. In state nomination mentioned by work nominated if a person lives and works with, okay, ये वही बात पूछ रहे हैं कि PR हो गई है, स्टेट नॉमिनेशन था, कहीं और चले जाएं कि नहीं चले जाएं, ये बात आपने पेंड कर दी जा सकते हैं. नो प्रॉब्लम. थैंक यू. इसमें ऊपर में सवाल है काफी सारे सवाल जो हैं रिपीटेड सवाल है जो हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं
And I'm happy to have this session again.
थैंक यू
This is also good to clear a lot of people's information requirement, because you will not get the correct information in our home countries. So I'm happy to be part of these sessions.
Thank you very much, sir. एक सवाल है single mother है and she's saying that it's very hard to move to Australia after completing KAPS. My question is, which visa is appropriate for me and my daughter? Which way I have to adopt? Single mother after doing.
तो कैप्स पास हो गए?
अभी तैयारी कर रही होंगी या सोच रही होंगी?
सर कैप्स पास हो के सर आपको फोन करें, बाकी फार्मासिस्ट के तो पता ही है, देयर इज लॉट ऑफ रिक्वायरमेंट. So I don't think it should be a challenge whether you're a single mother or single father or whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Pass हो गए तो pass हो गए.
Pass हो गया तो you will get a visa because Australia need you to work here. Is it right? KAPS pass कर लिया तो अगर कोई criminal history
आधा काम हो गया.
आधा काम हो गया. You are just in Australia. So that's pretty easy. ठीक है ना?
मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि अगर पास होके 491 लग गया तो फिर तो शादी भी हो जाएगा बस. जैसे हमारी.
Yes, this is what I always say to many people. Yes. That's right. Yes. Because that person demand become high.
Yeah, of course. You've proved your worth,
You are in Australia, you will be an Australian citizen very soon, and working as a single mother is not an issue in this country, I think.
Not an issue at all. This is the best place to, be a single person, single parent, or
and
not only, from whatever, even if you are widowed or whatever, this is a very good place.
Very good country. And also women empowerment is a huge topic in this country.
It's actually better to be woman in this country than men, I can tell you.
Yes.
And nobody judges you. There's no judgment. कोई social high toba कुछ नहीं है. In fact, people are scared of judging you because you can, prosecute them here. So
that's right. Yes, it is a positive country for women, and 65% in our industry, especially in community pharmacy, they are women workforce. So that's another positive point. And flexible hours are available to work in community pharmacy. So that's a very positive.
And there are certain industries where men are not even allowed, like early child care. You don't see men there. It's always women, mothers. Crash में जो आपका जो after day school, before day care, nurses, always a lot of women. So there are certain places where it is very good to be a woman. Even doctors, I've seen a lot of GPs who are females.
Yes, and there's a huge demand of female GPs here. I would tell you that if you are a female GP in like place like regional, and people will love you.
You're a mini celebrity there, actually.
Oh, yes. The booking time for female GPs sometimes become 4 weeks, sometimes become 2 months. So you can understand the position of a female doctor or female GP or female gynecologist will be a superhero. Hey, I'm a pharmacist. If I get 491 visa, my husband get a visa. He used to live in Australia. He left to India 1 year ago after 1 week of his visa expiry. Are there any complication to get visa again?
Okay, so you're married, both of you got 491, right?
Yeah, I got a 491 visa. My husband got a visa. He used to live in Australia and he.
So 491 or 489?
491.
491 got expired also.
Expiry की बात तो नहीं लिख रहे, कह रहे I'm a pharmacist and if I got a visa which is 491 visa, can my husband get a visa? He used to live in Australia. वो रहते थे पहले लेकिन वो इंडिया आ गए. And 1 week of his visa expiry, then that's not very clear from someone from India. Are there any complication?
It all depends on what his earlier visa was and whether he was deported or he went away. Was it a student visa? Did he not study, go back? Both.
No, it's not. You can maybe.
Yeah, but if there is no adverse information behind, then he can definitely be part of her 490.
Can become a part of that visa. Okay, sure. And I'm a single parent. My question is again, no, we already discussed that. Okay. I think, there's 9 questions. Okay. How early you expect to get AMC test center open? Okay, that's a very good question, Zareen Khalid. We have a very good discussion with the High Commission Saab just yesterday and today as well, and he's very positive that there will be a center approved. Time frame we don't know. It can be from 3 months to 6 months. We don't know, or it could be very quick. I don't know. All right, but have you done the survey? Have you filled the survey? Because we collected information from the survey and we have submitted that to Pakistan High Commission office yesterday. We will close that survey probably in a week's time, and I think we have collected 400 people interested for KAPS exam. How to apply for state nomination after passing KAPS? Okay. The immigration process is open or not, or is still stopped? No, there's nothing like that. So I mean, this is gossip. Gossip. This is gossip. So you can still pass the exam and apply. Ganesh, anything else that I think you were discussing a lot about nursing? Can you please explain that scenario where you help director of nursing with 5 jobs, especially for nurses?
Sure.
If you explain a little bit to the audience, please.
So I'll just tell you the 2 types of or 3 types of pathways for nurses. First, obviously, you come here, study your bachelor's or master's of nursing. You get your upper registration and you get your, it's easy but most expensive. The second one is to suppose you've done this strictly from PR perspective. You've done Bachelor of Accounting or Bachelor of Non-Nursing, right? But you want to change your pathway. You want to become a nurse. You can do a Master's of Integrated Nursing, which is a 2-year course here. So it allows people who are not having Bachelor of Nursing to actually change into nursing. Again, it's expensive, right? The third option is you are a registered nurse in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, wherever you are. You've done a Bachelor of Nursing and you are registered as a nurse in your home country. Not GNM, not diploma. I'm talking about Bachelor of Nursing, right? You have to get 7 each in English, PT also. You have to give an exam called NCLEX MCQ, multiple choice question. NCLEX is the body. You pass that and then you come and give an exam called OSCE, which is in Adelaide. Now, this is cheaper than actually coming and studying it. But what that gives you is a direct pathway and guarantee, I can say guarantee, of getting a PR. Now, if you want to migrate to Australia and you're willing to change your, what do you call, your career, or suppose you have, you're married and, your spouse doesn't really have a degree that gives a pathway, but is willing to change or willing to study, this is a very easy pathway. So you can either use nursing as a profession, as a career, or as an option to get a PR.
That's very good.
All depends upon what you need and what is your personal requirement.
I don't know whether nursing exam for Australia is available in Pakistan, but I think is available.
So the NCLEX is an online exam. It's like you can give it online.
Okay.
If not in Pakistan, definitely it'll be in Dubai or some neighboring country, but it will should
when
be
you
there.
say when you say online can be given at home, or it can
like
be
like a prometric center, like
okay.
How you give PT.
Okay. I think that is not available. Is it available in India? Do you know?
Yes, it's available.
And you were telling about some sort of study or some sort of program that you said that nurses can do online that you offer. Or
so I mean, we offer this training, right? Obviously, the NCLEX training. So one is writing the exam, one is to have an online training for that. Like you have PT training or you have, KAPS training. There are specialist trainers. To become an NCLEX trainer, you need to have 5+ years as a registered nurse and write their exam. So they are actual registered trainers.
Okay.
So if you pass that exam, then you're invited by APRA
Okay.
to come to Australia and spend 5 weeks, when which 3 weeks you have to actually study again for the course. So you have to see this way: either you come here to do your bachelor's, which is $30,000-$40,000 per year for 4 years,
Okay.
or you do this short-term shortcut, which is less than $20,000. So it's both are expensive. There's no easy way to come here, but this is faster because you're already a nurse.
Okay.
Again, if you come here to study on if you right now, if you're coming to study a bachelor's or master's of nursing, till December at least there is unlimited working rights. So a lot of nurses, they come to study here, but they're actually working as assistant nurse or personal care worker. They're probably getting paid more than software engineers.
Oh yes, EN like enrolled nurse.
No, AIN, that's even low.
Okay.
EN is definitely opera registered.
Okay. Okay. So is that something doctors, like medical doctors, can take? Like, will you suggest doctors to opt for nursing exam
Now
to
doctors,
change of a career and become doctors later? Is that something? Is that you saying? Or?
if they have studied, so I think it's the same in both the countries. You, I think, study for 7 to 10 years of your life to become a doctor.
Oh yes, yes.
And then if you are, I think people join doctor profession because they want to really become doctors. There's actually no money till you turn 35 or 34.
That's right. Yes, you have to do a lot of specialization.
Yeah. And I think if you've already done that kind of studies, AMC should be another like 2 or 3 attempts you will do it. You will definitely not want to be a nurse once. If you're an open heart surgeon, you are not going to go and give COVID vaccines. Right? It's tohin ho jata hai padhai
Yes.
mein. So, and even if you get suppose you come study, you get the PR, then what? You still have to do the AMC to become a doctor.
Yes.
You might as well do that.
और जैसे आपने बोला कि एएमसी हो जाता है, ठीक है, दैट्स फाइन, क्योंकि एएमसी का जो टीचिंग पढ़ाने का जो वो भी बहुत ऑफर अवेलेबल है, बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट अवेलेबल हैं, बहुत मटेरियल
I'll give you this website academically.ai. Academic
जी मालूम है जी
ये आपको शायद पता है डॉक्टर
मुझे मालूम है जी वो फार्मेसी का भी करते हैं और
हाँ
डॉक्टर
जी
जी
तो
तो वो तो
ही इज अ
ऑप्शन
वेरी गुड एग्जांपल वो ऑनलाइन पढ़ा देंगे
ऑनलाइन पढ़ा देंगे। तो देखिए एएमसी पास करने के लिए, पढ़ने के लिए बहुत चीज मिल जाएगी। अगर सेंटर खुल जाता है देन यू कैन डू द एग्जाम। और मेरे ख्याल से वो जो एक और सवाल है जो हमने शायद डिस्कस नहीं किया कि फार्मासिस्ट वाले पीएचडी कर लिया है किसी ने, तो उनके लिए जॉब या वीजा का कोई ऑप्शन आप बता सकते हैं? बात पीएचडी करके जो
मेरा पर्सनल ओपिनियन है कि अनलेस यू आर डूइंग पीएचडी इन स्टेम लाइक स्टेम और से आजकल जो चल रहा है एनवायरमेंटल ये होता ना, बाकी सारे पीएचडी तो फिर एक्चुअली पीएचडी होते हैं। कोई सब मतलब हमारे मुल्कों में पीएचडी करने से शादी हो जाती है, यहाँ पे वो वाला सिस्टम नहीं है। तो यहाँ पढ़ा लिखा वो होता है जो कमाता है। So if you're doing PhD in pharmacy, I mean, you spend what, 30 years studying?
Oh yeah, more than that. Yes.
Points मिल जाएंगे आपको ना, but वो end में तो what is the occupation? If you do PhD in pharmacy, you still have to write the KAPS to become a pharmacist.
Oh yes, this is very clear. But someone is saying that PhD holder pharmacist जो हैं उनके लिए कोई pathway है? किसी ने मुझसे कहा
5 पॉइंट ज्यादा मिलता है ना, 5 पॉइंट ज्यादा मिलता है PhD का, और कुछ नहीं।
लेकिन उनके लिए pathway कैसे होगा?
पाथवे कुछ नहीं है।
pathway कुछ नहीं है। There is no shortcut. कोई स्पेशल टैलेंट वीजा भी नहीं है जिसके ऊपर वो आ सके यहाँ पे? PhD किया और स्पेशल टैलेंट हंट वीजा
एक वीजा है ग्लोबल टैलेंट, बट वो
जी
दिग्गज लोग के लिए।
वो
So
किन के
if
लिए?
you're the CEO of a pharmacy setup,
जी
or if you have got some patents, or तब शायद देंगे, that's actually talent.
Okay, so it's out of question. You need to do CAPS and maybe claim little bit points on, and then come to Australia.
Yeah, I think the session here is to tell people to stop wasting time. यही है इसमें, मतलब बोलते ना वो, जैसे हम लोग बोलते धोती कस के काम करो, आगे नहीं देखना है। So you have to concentrate and go on. It's like it is not like you have multiple options.
मल्टीपल ऑप्शन, जैसे कि बहुत सारा मेन्यू में खाना मिल रहा है, ये
हाँ,
सिर्फ
मतलब ये नहीं कि ये नहीं
फार्मासिस्ट है तो
आज
कैप्स
आज
कर लो
ये
आ
नहीं
जाओ।
खाना है तो ये खाना है, ऐसा नहीं होता है।
अगर नर्सेज हैं तो वो एनक्लेक्स कर लीजिए। फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट के लिए कुछ कहना चाहेंगे सर? फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट के लिए भी
मैंने
कुछ?
ज्यादा फिजियोथेरेपी किए नहीं है, बट दे ऑल्सो हैव अ बॉडी। फिजियोथेरेपी का एक बॉडी होता है
ओके,
और वही एग्जाम होता है ऑनलाइन, एंड डॉक्टर की तरह ही होता है।
एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन, लैब टेक्नीशियंस,
हम्म।
उनके लिए क्या?
सर लैब टेक्नीशियन मैंने लाइफ में 7 साल में एक किया है। वो
ओके,
भी आई थिंक मेडिकल टेक्नीशियन एनईसी करके आता है, वेटासिस का।
ओके,
उनका आज तक इन्विटेशन आया नहीं है।
अच्छा, मतलब दैट इज नॉट इन, मतलब वो,
अगेन यू हैव टू सी दैट एमएलटी एसएसएल एसटीएसएल लिस्ट एंड देन गेज।
ओके, तो वो दरिया में जैसे होता है ना कि चल रहा है, ऐसा नहीं जैसे फार्मासिस्ट चल
हाँ,
रहा है
मतलब अगर आपको खर्च
सब।
करके असेसमेंट करना है, किसी को 4 पैसे देने तो बात है, बट लेट्स बी प्रैक्टिकल। नहीं मिला तो चांस कम है।
ओके, ओके, तो वो काम करें जो हो रहा है, ठीक है ना?
हाँ,
अच्छा, एक सवाल आ गया अचानक से कि मैंने एमबीए मार्केटिंग किया है, और अब मुझे पीछे से बैकग्राउंड नहीं पता इनका क्या है, फार्मासिस्ट नहीं होंगे, तो उनके लिए क्या कुछ है या
ये
कैप्स कर?
मार्केटिंग करके अगर इफ यू वर्कड इन मार्केटिंग, देयर इज अ ऑक्यूपेशन कॉल्ड मार्केटिंग स्पेशलिस्ट।
ओके,
जनरली 190 वीजा एनएसडब्ल्यू का 80-85 पॉइंट में आ जाता है।
तो टेक्नीशियन विटासिस से करेंगे अपना असेसमेंट या कैप्स करेंगे? इनके लिए क्या है आपके लिए?
नहीं, ये तो आई थिंक यू सेड एमबीए मार्केटिंग, राइट?
मार्केटिंग, हाँ, एमबीए मार्केटिंग किया हुआ है इन्होंने,
So I
और
am assuming he is worked in sales and marketing,
ठीक है,
which is obviously not pharmacy.
तो
But
डिमांड है या नहीं है, कैप्स की तरह का डिमांड है कि नहीं है, या ऐसे ही होगा कि
नहीं,
जमा करा दिया वेट करते रहेंगे अगले 5-6 साल तक?
वो तो वही आपको वेटर्स का असेसमेंट करके बैठना पड़ेगा
बैठना
पॉइंट्स के
पड़ेगा।
ऊपर कि जितने जितने पॉइंट्स आपने बना लिए।
सही है, तो नादिया फवाद आपने सुन लिया आंसर। अगर उनका एमबीए है, मार्केटिंग है, और विटासिस से उनको असेसमेंट करके वेट करना पड़ेगा, हो जाएगा, जैसे ग्रेस आपने बताया
हाँ,
कि।
मतलब देयर के साइड यू हैव टू लुक एट द पॉइंट्स, यू हैव टू इंक्रीज द पॉइंट्स।
यस, ओके, ओके, दैट वाज नॉट। अच्छा, जो एमबीबीएस की जिन्होंने सवाल किए थे उन्होंने अभी डिस्क्लोज किया कि आई थिंक द एज इज टर्निंग टू 44 एंड वांट टू कम इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया, अर्लीस्ट पाथवे उनके लिए डॉक्टर हैं, एमसी 1 करना चाहते हैं, या कोई और पाथवे है, एज टर्निंग 44, कोई सजेशन?
I'll be very honest, if you are 44, you got like 10% that you will pass the AMC, you will find someone to sponsor you. Again, moment you turn 45, there is no peer. तो आप आ भी जाओगे तो उसके बाद क्या?
Okay, okay, that's something not a good news, I think, for you, but this is
And
reality.
I'm 46, so it's not like I'm making fun of it. I'm maybe तो 46 का हो, तो at some point of time you can't even adjust it.
Okay, मेरे ख्याल से ये अपने हस्बैंड के बारे में पूछ रही हैं कि what is the highest score to get immigration for a bank manager?
बैंक का कोई इधर डिमांड नहीं है. I'll give you an example. I come from India. 90% of my employees of my relatives are in banks. My brother is a bank manager. No option.
Okay,
लिस्ट में नहीं है.
लिस्ट में नहीं है, okay, that's fine, okay, बैंक मैनेजर नहीं है तो उनको कोई और प्रोफेशन करना पड़ेगा।
There's something called financial institution manager. उसका आज 3 साल से इन्विटेशन नहीं है.
सही बात है, सही बात
ना.
है। अभी बैंक मैनेजर एक हैं जो आई नो दैट शी कम हियर एज अ मेन, मतलब कि फार्मासिस्ट थी, वो आ गई, उनकी बेस पे उनके हस्बैंड भी आ गए, तो दैट्स समथिंग, दैट्स गुड। I think we have covered quite a bit. Thank you very much, Ganesh bhai. Thank you so much for this late.
Again, I mean, I can give you basic advice or basic information on how the system works. Whether you get an invitation or not, again, it depends upon the points and your luck and which state you open, so it's a very variable thing to even comment on. But there are 200,000 positions every year. You should keep trying.
200,000 visa offers.
2 लाख का तो कोटा है.
ओके, जैसे अभी उन्होंने अनाउंस किया हुआ था लेबर गवर्नमेंट ने 2,40,000, 2,40,000 वीजा देंगे।
हाँ, उसमें वो रेफ्यूजी भी है, पेरेंट भी है, सबको काट कुट के 1,60,000 हमारा हुआ था.
अच्छा, इमिग्रेशन,
गिल्ड माइग्रेशन वाला. हाँ, उससे
अच्छा,
उसमें भी नर्सेस का डिमांड.
ओके, अच्छा ये एक सवाल आया।
2-3 लाख, हाँ 2-3 लाख तो शॉर्टेज है, अगर 2 की 2 लाख भी नर्स सके तो ले लेंगे वो तो।
ओके, एक सवाल अभी 35 years old, बी फार्म किया हुआ है और मेडिकल रैप का एक्सपीरियंस है, व्हाट आर द चांसेस? मैं इसका जवाब दे सकता हूँ बहुत ही जल्दी से।
बोलिए।
मेडिकल रैप का एक्सपीरियंस काउंट नहीं होता किसी
हाँ,
भी टेक्नीशियन या रिटेल में या इंडस्ट्री में। आपको कैप्स करना है और विद नो एक्सपीरियंस आना है। दिस इज व्हाट आई फील, व्हाट आई एडवाइस टू
मेडिकल टेक्नीशियन का एक ही होता है, आई थिंक इंडस्ट्री इंडस्ट्रियल सेल्स रिप्रेजेंटेटिव इज जस्ट लाइक बैंक ऑफिसर, आज तक किसी को मिला नहीं।
मिला ही नहीं ना, किसी को
तो
डिमांड ही नहीं है।
बेसिकली आपको देखना है कि आप जो ऑक्यूपेशन देख रहे हो,
हम्म।
अगर ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया में नहीं होता तो क्या ऑस्ट्रेलिया गिर जाएगा या कोई प्रॉब्लम? तो यू हैव टू सी ना व्हाट इज इन डिमांड. इन डिमांड इज दिस दैट कीप्स द इकोनॉमी एंड द इंडस्ट्री alive. If you don't have doctors, there'll be a problem. If you don't have bank managers, I don't think it impacts. And that's how they make their occupation lists. You will see there is in their software engineer is in demand, civil engineer is demand, but you will not see petrochemical engineer in demand because there's no petrochemical here.
तो जो एक जनरल मतलब जो जो हमारे कोलीग्स हैं, फार्मासिस्ट हैं, मेडिकल वाले हैं, तो उनको ये बात कैसे समझनी चाहिए कि क्या वो लिस्ट को देखें या डिमांड है, या वो अपने एक्सपीरियंस को देखें, या वो आपको सीवी भेजें, या वो सिर्फ ट्रेंड को देखें
कि
क्या
पहले
चीज।
तो लिस्ट देखिए, ठीक है ना? और अगर लिस्ट में आपके ऑक्यूपेशन नहीं है तो नहीं है, आई मीन यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट, क्योंकि दैट्स व्हेन यू बिकम मोस्ट वनरेबल कि कोई आके आपको पट्टी पड़ा दे, पैसे लेके निकल गए। जब आपका नहीं है तो नहीं है, यू कैन
नहीं तो नहीं।
प्रॉब्लम कनाडा और समथिंग एल्स, यू नो, व्हाई वेस्ट टाइम? अगर है तो जी जान के काम करो, मेहनत करो।
ओके सर, जियोलॉजिस्ट के बारे में क्या क्या कहेंगे? जियोलॉजिस्ट एक जो एरिया होता है,
हाँ, जियोलॉजी, उसमें
का क्या डिमांड है या नहीं है, कुछ कमेंट करना चाहेंगे?
वो मेरे ख्याल से ये सारे चीज है ना, ये ऑलरेडी ये लोकल ऑस्ट्रेलियंस जितना जॉब है लेकर बैठे हैं।
अच्छा, इनकी डिमांड ओवरफिल
यहाँ
कर।
इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड, यहाँ के जो लोग हैं वो यूनिवर्सिटी में जाके नर्स नहीं बनते हैं, सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री नहीं करते, ट्रेड्स में जाते ज्यादा,
ठीक है।
राइट? सो दैट्स वेयर द गैप इज,
हम्म।
because they don't want to go and pay expensive fees. You know how it is here, they rather go to TAFE. And geology, I think they took a lot of people from Ireland and Scotland because of the whatever that time they had. I mean, it doesn't stop you from trying out, right? If you are a geologist and you spend your time and your life doing that occupation, give the exam, you do the assessment, hope for the best. ऐसे भी गारंटी नहीं कि इफ यू आर अ नर्स यू विल गेट अ वीजा ना, जब तक आप मेहनत करोगे तो थोड़ा टफ रहेगा, बट यू कैन डू द असेसमेंट, यू कैन वेट फॉर ऑल यू नो इन 2-3 months or something they'll announce that there is some scope for that.
ओके, थैंक
See,
यू।
even if there's like only 10 positions for geology, a geologist, be ready, right? Be the first.
मे बी बेस्ट इज दैट जो आपने बताया कि गूगल पे जाके वो लिस्ट निकाल लें और वहाँ पे
Yeah.
मैच करें, rather देन कि वो एक एक क्वेश्चन हमसे पूछें उस बारे में। तो दैट्स मे बी मोर अप्रोप्रिएट फॉर देम, फॉर एवरीवन टू डू अ लिस्टिंग। फार्मेसी सैलरी की बात की है किसी ने, वैस ने। फार्मासिस्ट इंटर्न की सैलरी $4,000 पर मंथ होती है। फार्मासिस्ट जब बन जाते हैं तो इट बिकम डबल और मोर देन दैट, जो कि 55,000 सालाना एनुअल पैकेज होता है इंटर्न का, और मे बी 80 to 100,000 होता है जो कि कम्युनिटी फार्मेसी की सैलरी का होता है। आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल गुड,
सर
थैंक
मैं
यू।
इसमें बताता हूँ कि it is better that husband wife get 90,000 each every year in terms of tax. अगर एक बंदा 2 लाख कमा लिया तो उसके 55% टैक्स निकल जाता है। तो इट इज नॉट कि आपने इतना कमा लिया, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट आर योर हैबिट्स ऑफ स्पेंडिंग एंड सेविंग and what is your expenses back home, back here. So salary doesn't define. You can make as much money as you want and not save anything, or you can make limited and save a lot. But mota in this country, if you there's something called minimum salary, right? So it was 53,900 up till like 1st of July. They have raised it to 70,000 now.
Okay,
So
yes.
हाँ, in this country कुछ भी करो, आप मैकडॉनल्ड्स में काम करो, यूबर करो, जो भी करो, 70,000 तो आपका मिनिमम सैलरी. So
Okay,
that is how they guarantee that if nobody goes, below the threshold.
okay,
And then it can go up to wherever it wants.
okay. गणेश साहब एक सवाल अभी पूछा है रिदा नासिर ने कि शी इज अ मेडिकल ग्रेजुएट सॉरी मेडिकल स्टूडेंट कंप्लीटिंग नेक्स्ट ईयर. What are the best options? Do I do masters in health sciences and get a PR, or do I do the licensing exam like AMC?
I would say licensing exam because आखिर में आपको डॉक्टर ही बनना था.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Thank
एंड
you.
आप ये जो क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो कि 2 साल बाद जो मैं पढ़ के बाहर निकलूंगी तो कौन सा सरकार है, क्या पॉइंट्स है, क्या डिमांड, ये तो फिर वो हो गया ना, एस्ट्रोलॉजी हो गया.
हमें क्या
I
पता
know,
है क्या होने
हाँ,
वाला
हमको ये तो पता है कि AMC1 पास होने से आपका पातो है.
हाँ हमको पता है कैप्स करके फार्मासिस्ट कहीं ना
हाँ,
फिट
हाँ,
हो जाएगा ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अंदर.
हाँ,
ये तो कोई मसला नहीं है, ठीक है ना. इसी
हाँ.
तरह एएमसी करेंगे तो वो हो जाएगा. जैसे कि नर्सिंग का एग्जाम आपने बताया वो करेंगे. तो बेस्ट ये है कि वो करें और फिर अपना पाथवे चूज करें रादर देन कि स्पेंड मोर मनी ऑन मास्टर्स एंड कम और स्टूडेंट फीस वगैरह वो फिर
देखो, ये यही प्रॉब्लम होता है कि आप जितना डेस्परेशन दिखाओगे उतने लोकल एजेंट्स आपको काटेंगे. बोलते ना, काटना बोलते हैं इसको.
हम्म.
एक बार आप यहाँ से निकल गए तो आप तो वापस तो आओगे नहीं गले पकड़ने. आप एक बार पहुंच गए तो पैसे खत्म.
बिल्कुल
तो
ऐसे ही होता है क्योंकि बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट फार्मेसी के जो मैंने देखे हैं नोट किए हैं वो मुझे फोन करते हैं कि हम बस अभी फाइनल ईयर खत्म कर रहे हैं अपना फार्मेसी का और
हाँ,
हमें बता दो फौरन निकलना है हमको यहाँ से ना फौरन.
हाँ.
तो मैं कहता हूँ
सर,
यार
आपको कम से कम उस टाइम पे फोन आता है. हमको यहाँ पे आके 2 साल बर्बाद करने के बाद फोन आता है कि अभी क्या बचा है, 10 दिन बचे वीजा के लिए. अब हम क्या करें?
ओ माय गॉड.
क्या करें, सब कर दिए.
सब खर्च कर दिया, सब पैसा दे
सारा
दिया.
खर्च कर दिया. या कोई आते हैं
Student-
मास्टर्स करने के लिए, फिर कोई यहाँ से हो जाता है कि आप डिप्लोमा इन कमर्शियल पूरी कर दो तो डॉक्टर बन रहे कुक. उसमें
हम्म
बैकग्राउंड नहीं है, वीजा खत्म, क्या करें. अब किसी को जाना नहीं वापस. तो बेटर टू से नाउ ओनली कि यही ये पाथवे है, यही आपका जीपीएस लगा हुआ है, यही दिशा है, निकलो.
सेट द गोल विद योर लाइसेंस क्योंकि सब यहाँ हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल है. यहाँ इस वक्त कोई लेमैन डिफरेंट आईटी वाला कोई नहीं है. सब यहाँ नर्स डॉक्टर फार्मासिस्ट लोग बात कर रहे हैं जो सुन रहे
आपने
हैं.
आपने जहाँ पे आपने पढ़ाई की वहीं पे आगे बढ़ना.
वही उसी को फोकस करें, ठीक है. अच्छा जो इंडिया से जो बात कर रही थी या कर रहे थे उन्होंने अब सवाल दोबारा पूछा है. हस्बैंड इज आल्सो इंक्लूडेड इन 491 वीजा. यस, विदाउट नीडिंग एनी फर्दर वीजा लाइक अप्लाइंग 49 वीजा वी हैव include partner in the application, right? Yes, obviously you right, partner के
थोड़ा
साथ ही
गोल
होता
गोल
है.
बोल रहे हैं, समझ एक्चुअली वो क्या बोलना चाहिए बता नहीं रही है ठीक से.
मेरे ख्याल से वो पूछना ये चाह रही है जो अभी सवाल लिखा है कि उसको शायद क्लियर नहीं है कि 491 वीजा अकेले होता है या स्पाउस के साथ होता है. आई थिंक दिस इज व्हाट शी इज
इट्स
आस्किंग.
ऑलवेज फुल फैमिली. अगर
फैमिली
आप
फैमिली
सिंगल तो
बच्चे भी
सिंगल,
हैं.
हाँ, कपल तो कपल, 10 बच्चे तो 10 बच्चे,
यस.
सब हो जाता है.
ओके एक सवाल है कि माय आई हैव अ स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक इन माय pharmacy license in Pakistan or India wherever. There is any problem during skill assessment through Vitasis? देखिए स्किल असेसमेंट आप फार्मासिस्ट की तो कर ही नहीं रही हैं वहां पे. आई डोंट थिंक दैट यू नीड टू गिव योर pharmacist license to Vitasis if you're doing as an industrial pharmacist or as even as a technician. So there is no problem in that, I would say. फार्मेसी लाइसेंस की जरूरत आपको कैप्स के लिए पड़ती है जहाँ पे आपको प्रूफ शो करना होता है. So if you are not doing caps,
तो
let's
इवन
say,
इफ यू डूइंग इन कैप्स यू कैन गिव अ स्टैट्यूटरी डिक्लेरेशन सेइंग कि ये मेरा नाम था, ये मेरा नाम था, ये मेरा सही नाम है.
बस
दे
आप ये वेरी
डिक्लेरेशन.
सोल्यूशन. गणेश भाई इज अ वेरी एक्सपीरियंस पर्सन. उन्होंने आपको एक सेकंड में सोल्यूशन दे दिया कि जस्ट डू अ स्टेट डिक्लेरेशन. ये मसला
प्लस मैं
खत्म.
ये बहुत सारा टाइम देखता हूँ कि इफ योर नेम इज मोहम्मद, राइट,
हम्म.
एंड यू वर्किंग इन सऊदी, दे विल राइट योर नेम इज महमूद. यानी कि
यस.
MOMA का चलता है. इकामा के नाम पे अलग होता है,
हम्म.
पासपोर्ट पे अलग है, और
हम्म.
पुलिस क्लियरेंस में अलग है.
यस.
तो यू विल गिव अ डिक्लेरेशन कि ये मेरा नाम है,
हम्म.
ये सब स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स हुआ है इंडियन से, आई कांट चेंज, एंड ऑफ स्टोरी.
हम्म.
एंड में आपकी जो पासपोर्ट में जो नाम है ना वही देखते हैं हम लोग.
हम्म. ओके. अब एक सवाल पूछा है. फार्मासिस्ट ओनली HEC सर्टिफिकेशन इज रिक्वायर्ड. कैप्स को कोई HEC नहीं चाहिए, सिर्फ विटासिस वालों को चाहिए. दैट्स आई नो. I think, Ganesh bhai, thank you very much. We will finish the session. This is a very, very informative session for those who were listening carefully, and I will share your details in the Zoom and also in YouTube and also in my chat box. I have already shared your details in my group, so you are very popular in our group. Maybe someone has directly approached you. I don't know how many people have called you or messaged you, but I will do it again. I will send your email address and your phone number there, so maybe someone will ask your services. All right, so please don't call Ganesh bhai, just message him first, because he's a very, very busy person, and expect a message back when he will have a time, and don't expect that he
I
will.
will message back if the question is relevant
Yes.
and the need is genuine, because I do get a lot of messages.
Yes, he got messages from all around the world. He is not only just for India, he is serving all around South Africa, Europe, England, everywhere. So please keep your message relevant and don't leave voice messages. Just write some messages. I think that's very easy for busy people to read when they have time, and they will reply you. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much again. And we'll do another session for nursing as you have secured 15 position for SA health and
15 तो मैंने लगवाया है, 300 के ऊपर पोजीशन है.
Oh my God. और आपने फार्मासिस्ट कितने लगवाए सर? फार्मासिस्ट कितने भर्ती करवाए लास्ट ईयर?
हाँ, वो भी कर लिए, फिर भी कम पड़ रहा है.
अकाउंटेंट कितने भर्ती करवाए आपने? ये भी सारे फील्ड के लोग हैं, not only just health, but he's got so much experience of every other area. And when your questions are coming, please keep it specific for Australia. We don't know anything about England, or we can't do a comparison with Canada, because अभी किसी ने फिर कनाडा का सवाल किया है कि इकोनॉमिक्स में डिग्री की है, मास्टर्स इन इंग्लैंड, want to travel to Australia. आ जाए माइग्रेशन पे.
So if anybody was asking about Canada and they want to message me, I'll give you a Canadian migration agent number. तो आप.
अरे वाह. Okay.
Oh,
So
can.
you have a facility. That's very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ganesh bhai. Have a good night, and we'll be in touch. We'll have to see you sometime in Adelaide.
Sure. I'll definitely plan.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You have a nice.
Thank you so much. Thanks.